Hello, my name is Tony Neumeyer, the author of the book, The 7-Minute Millionaire, How to Think Yourself Rich, and founder of the Millionaire Academy. Those darn banks, it's their fault. It was their fault. They lent me almost $3 million, and just because I asked for it. It's true. I was in my early 20s, and the banks were awash with money. They were handing it out to almost anyone, even me. I guess they liked my idea for developing and selling real estate, although it wasn't written down anywhere in the form of a business plan. It was all in my head. I gladly took the money and began to build and renovate homes for resale. I was on my way to the big time, and I was going to become a big real estate developer. I owned several properties that were in move-in stage, and I was enjoying life. But then something happened. The real estate market, instead of going up, 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 as it was doing, turned on a dime and prices started to plunge. They were falling so fast that by the time a price reduction of my homes hit the real estate sheets in newspapers, they were too high again. My ability to pay the construction loans and interest each month was gone. You see, I was using the money that the bank was advancing me to pay the interest, and there was no further advances coming. Rates were high, 19%, and one of my loans was prime plus 5, which meant 24% interest rate. So how did this happen? Whose fault was this mess? What could I do? I was down for the count, and the referee had his arm in the air for the third final slap on the mat. The banks foreclosed and sold virtually everything I owned. Afterwards, I still owed $1.5 million and had little or no income to pay the banks back. I was bankrupt. And back then, bankruptcy was a very dirty word, and there was a lot of stigma that went with it. So much so that 2 people I know actually killed themselves over it. Obviously, the banks weren't expecting the real estate crash either, but I was in the midst of it. My head was spinning, and I was trying to look around for someone to blame for this mess. The bank, for sure. The builder partner I had hired to do my construction, also, for sure. Have you ever done that? Tried to figure out whose fault something was? Or even just tried to figure out how you got into some mess? Well, in this case, I was wiped out completely, financially done. But more than that, and even more important, was the damage to my psyche. This wasn't supposed to happen to me. My mother owned a collection agency and schooled me and my brothers on the importance of paying our bills and paying our credit cards off each and every month. I didn't want to be looked upon as irresponsible for not paying my bills. I was guilt-ridden and basically couldn't think straight. It took me several years just to get my head back on straight, and even then I wasn't on any fast track to financial freedom. I really began to examine what had happened to me and how I got into this situation that caused so much pain. Then my son was born, and it was like a light turned on in a dark room. It wasn't the bank's fault for lending me the money. It wasn't my contractor's fault for a lack of budget. And it wasn't even the housing market's fault that it happened to crash and take me down with it. It was my fault. You might be asking something like, but wait, you didn't know the market was going to crash? Well, let me say this. Even if I didn't know, I should have. I should and could have sold the properties pre-built and taken a smaller profit, or just thought a little more about the market. But that's really not the point. So what is the point? Let me ask you this. Who's in charge of you? You are, right? You are the one that makes the decisions in your life. There were a few opportunities along the way that if I had been open to them, I could have seized them and never gone bankrupt. There were a lot of ignorance and naivete back then for being so young. For sure, that played a part. But I should have and could have done things differently. I'm not going to make excuses. When the light came on and I realized that everything that happens in life happens because of the decisions I or you make each and every day, it was uplifting. Well, maybe after a few tears. The reason it was uplifting is because the moment I realized that it was only my past decisions that made the mess of my life, I realized that my current and future decisions could make a great life for me, the life that I really wanted. You see, you are where you are in your life solely based on the past decisions that you have made. When you truly understand that and take responsibility for your current situation, it allows you to also take charge of your future. As I said, you're in charge of you and the life that you live. So take charge of it with the determination of making decisions that will create the future that you want and actually begin to create what it is that you want in your life. But think more about this. You are in charge of you. I call it You Inc. Think of yourself as a business. And if you were, and you are, running You Inc., would you make the decisions about your future in the same way? Because being the CEO and sole decision maker gives you the responsibility of being right or wrong. The good thing about that is that you really can make a difference in your future by making different and better decisions today. People often ask me, how do I make decisions about gold and silver, currency, the stock markets, when they are manipulated? My response is generally something like this. Just assume they are manipulated and that changing that anytime soon is unlikely. So make your decisions based on the information you have that is best for you. You can only be in charge of your own personal decisions, no other people's. So when it comes to getting ahead and becoming financially free, no one has your interest at the forefront more than you do. This means you must take the decisions and make the decisions that are best for you. Some might say that that's just being selfish. But is it? Accomplishing more and becoming wealthy gives you more opportunity and more power to help people or animals that you want to help. And I'll take that a step further. I believe that the amount of money you earn is indirectly proportional to the number of people that you are helping. So if you start a business, the more people you help, the more money you're going to make. In other words, the more problems you solve for other people, the more income you'll have. But it all starts with you. You taking charge. You taking responsibility for what happens in your life. Excuses are for people who are willing to let outside influence decide their future. Not you and me. Simply make the decision now that you are the one in control of your life and that you are the one who makes all the important decisions in your life. You are the one who will create the life that you want. Take a stand for being the best you that you can be. And remember, you are always the one in control of You Inc. For me, this revelation and taking control of my life was a turning point that allowed me to create the financial freedom I've always dreamt of. I know that this is one of the critical success elements that can be the starting point for you as well. Please leave your comments and questions below. And be sure to check out the programs and free trainings on my website, TonyNeumeyer.com. They can really help you take charge and control of your life and become financially free. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and above all, live rich.